Did you buy another model? I can't believe you. You have way too many of those things. You need to sell some of them. You're wasting all your time and money on models. Paint what you have.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 36 of Model Club TV.
36.
You didn't do the math, fingers. Oh, well, that's good enough.
I don't have 6 fingers on either hand. I'm not a deformity.
Oh, man. How are you, Scott?
I'm great. Thanks for asking.
We just, it's Christmas time.
Wait. You can't see this. Maybe you can now.
Oh, yeah. What happened
at work? And, yeah, got a little scab. But
you had a senior citizen accident? Is that what happened? Or was it like...
No, it's a trip over something that I probably helped install accident. So it's...
Did you have to push your life alert button and go, I'm falling? I can't.
No, the guy I was with said, I never saw anybody get up so fast. And it's like, well, yeah, there's a car coming down the line that I don't want to get like pinned under. So it's like, yeah.
Oh, well, I'm glad you're okay.
And
here to record this episode.
I'm so glad. I can't fucking wait.
So our mystery guests for this week, Scott, who are they?
It's Mike Calvert.
And
as a special, what would we call them? Special guest stars. We have a longtime friend of Model Club TV, Paul Gill, and his partner, Mark Van Tine. When I say partner, I'm business partner. Paul's happily married.
That almost went sideways.
So okay. I don't want that to go wrong. So we have Paul and Mark Van Tine. Mark's a they're both Garage Kid veterans. And then as a special guest star, because Mike will be making an announcement, we have Jeff Yagher again.
We just finished the interview. It went really well. With all those people on the screen, I was really worried, but it went really cool. So stay tuned for that.
Well, yeah, we'll try to get through our bullshit and
we're going to keep it
that as quick as we can.
But this is our big giveaway between Black Friday and Christmas. We had some really cool stuff from Mark Warthling to give away. And are we ready? Do you want to do this now?
We can, but before we do, let's thank Mark again for the 2 donations. And Mark, again, another supporter of the show. And I don't think it's Mark so much. I think it's his wife, Shanna, that supports us. I think Mark just lays there, has a couple beers, and,
And I pushed my button. Pestilence Labs is up there.
Whatever you say, honey.
Yeah.
Okay.
But seriously, thank you for the witch kit to give away. Thank you for the monster from Young Frankenstein to give away. And thank you to Ed Riley for the AFM magazines and to Jamie Saj for the mummy figure. And thank you to Jason Walker for the monster, the it, and I'll show you what the mystery kit was here in a second. So can I thank myself? Is that wrong?
Yeah, whatever. You can thank yourself. Just don't spank yourself. Okay. Not on camera.
Okay, not on camera. I can live with that. Anyway, I have spanked a many person, though. If we go back to the traffic.
Here we go. Traveling bondage is coming back in.
The Pestilence Labs button keeps coming up because I forgot to turn it off. Look at that. Anyway.
Yeah, Pestilence Labs has nothing to do with traveling bondage. Yet he is willing to learn. Okay.
All right. I'll be down in Florida soon. So, anyway. Whoa. Let's give away the witch first.
Let's
do that.
Let's give that bitch witch away.
right. I've separated everything into 3 buckets. So what everybody said, if they said they were in for all 3, if they just said I was in, I put your name in everything. If you said I only wanted in for the magazines and the monster, you're in for just those. So make it a little easier this time.
No one's going to double win, though, right? So if you pull someone,
nobody is going to double win. So if you
Okay.
won, you're only going to win one thing. Good call.
So we're
And
gonna start with the top prize.
this is for the top prize.
I was thinking that scene in the Blues Brothers when the car drops.
Holy shit.
Who won the which?
Rob Madison.
Rob Madison, friend of the hobby.
It couldn't have gone to a nicer guy.
No,
Like-
it could not.
Wow. Rob Madison, you got the witch. All yours, buddy. Wow. I feel bad for all these other people. I got an idea. Hang on. So the witch is going to Rob. Now I have the Young Frankenstein cup.
It's Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
Man, I'm glaring. Hold on.
You are glaring. You're always glaring.
Oh, it's my screen that's glaring. Here, that's what I should do. Hold on.
I'll be mixing while you're
There. Oh, now I've got the haze. Purple haze.
Okay, here we go. All right. This is a YouTube name, so I don't know who it actually is. But Hee-Haw 138, you have won the monster from Mark Warthling's Pestilence Labs from Young Frankenstein.
Hee-haw.
Hee-Haw. Hee-Haw. Yeah. All right, watch this. All right.
What are you mixing resin?
Yes, pretty much. Okay, now we have the magazines. So for the magazine, you're also getting this monster bust. You're getting this it. This is the prize box. You're getting.
Who printed the it? What's the it from? I want that.
It's on.
Is there-
It's on CG Cult or Cults 3D. I think you're getting this mummy from Jamie Saj. And I don't know if I'm allowed to do this, so that's why I'm keeping it. I haven't cured this yet because it came off the printer this morning. You're gonna get one of my favorite things I've printed this year. The Wolfman.
Oh, the werewolf guy?
Yeah, the Wolfman. The Wolfman.
There you go. 3D printed.
3D printed. And you're getting those 2 kit builders and them AFMs from Ed Riley. Thank you, Ed, for all that. All right, here we go. Oh, wait, I kind of looked. Steve Schultz is the winner of the prize pack. The prize
Sergeant
pack.
Schultz.
Now I'm going to take
I see nothing.
this. Now this is everybody
Everybody
who entered everything.
needs somebody.
And here's how we're going to do this. And I haven't even told Scott this. He'll probably be,
I know. I'm sitting there going, what is he
You're probably
doing?
going to be mad at me. Okay.
I'm going to give away a 3D print of anything that you can find on CG Trader that our friend UL winner sculpted or whatever. I have 1 character, so he has a few things on there that are multi-characters. I'm looking for 1 character. Now, if it's a piece that has 2 characters on it, like there's a few of them up there we'll show. Yeah, that's okay, but what I'm saying is
1 character.
1 character.
1. So if it's Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble, it's just Fred or Barney, not both. Those aren't on there, but I'm just saying. Get the idea. All right. Here we go.
The winner is
Oh, no. Marty Nero.
Marty Nero. Marty,
Oh, wait.
the big winner. And I already have Marty's address because I just sent Marty a box.
Oh, no. Oh. Well. Oh, well. All right. We'll figure it out. All right. This person is going to do, let's see. I am going to print the Blade kit that I showed earlier in the year for this winner. Ready?
Ready.
Ready? Here we go.
Here we go.
Mix it up. Oh, whoa, whoa. Jeff Lamont.
Jeff Lamont.
Jeff Lamont will get the blade. All right, that's our giveaway. I hope so, everyone. I know. A lot of people didn't win, and I feel bad.
I know. I wish I could give something.
We added those on at the end because I feel bad. But you know what? I might save those. I'm going to keep those. And when I feel like giving away a random thing, I'll pull out of that thing that people don't have to enter. All right. So that's a lot to give away. But we have a new giveaway for next episode.
Yay. What do we have? What?
We have from
Jason Walker. Tell them what they can win.
From the lovely Stan Arts people.
Some of my favorite fans of the show.
So David Stan has gone and added and created a Luke's, I don't want to say the word, to add to his Tauntaun character. Look at the picture. So there is now an add-on for that kit. If you would like to change the person riding this monster, because I have a feeling YouTube looks up words, so I'm trying to like not do stuff. So check out these pictures. The only way to get this kit, and I'm going to show you what it is. I have it in my hand. Is the rider of the TT that got stuck in the stomach of the TT.
Riders on the Taun.
And it also, I'm not even going to open this, but it's a bag of some, I think, 3D printed stuff and some sculpted pieces. This is a great add-on for that kit. Now, here's the catch. And check out these great paint jobs of the Tauntaun as well. I think there's some other new ones. I'll put some up in the gallery at the end. But I got some pictures of the in progress of this and this. I don't want them to get a C and D, so that's why I'm trying to be very careful about this. I don't think they have, but Tauntaun. The only way to win this and the only way to enter this for this kit is either A, send us a picture of your built up of the one you already have. B, send us a picture of the kit in box in your house. Or C, a screenshot of your receipt from buying one from them. Of the already Han and Tauntaun. And then we will send you the Luke. So that's how you enter for that. We'll pull from that group of people. If you already own this, that's a way to get this for free. Or you already own the previous version. This is a like, dude, seriously. It looks just like him. He nailed the likeness on this so well. And I don't want to open this. But the parts in here are awesome. It is this is one of the most beautiful garage kits, I think, in the last 10 years. It's like dead on likeness to the characters and the creature. And you have a new thing for it. And they couldn't have been nicer about this and sent this in for somebody. And I really hope someone takes advantage of this and adds this to their character. Because it's just an easy swap. Boom. Change characters. So this thing's gorgeous. Simply gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
So if you want in for that, please email us a picture, like I said, of your buildup or here's the email address, modelclubtv@gmail.com. Your buildup, your kit inbox, a picture of it, or a receipt that you had just purchased the regular kit. And then you'll get entered into the drawing for the add-on for the Luke. Oop, there we go. It's beautiful. They did a great job, and they are two of the nicest people in the hobby, and please support them.
Yes, they are.
This is fantastic.
And they're going to be at Wonderfest this year.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
It's going to be cool to meet them.
But they're going to hate us when they meet us in person, probably, and this will change.
To know us is to hate us.
Yeah, exactly. But that's it. Awesome. Really awesome. That's our giveaway. I hope everyone's kind of happy. If you lost, I'm sorry. I tried.
No one lost. You're a winner if you're watching Model Club TV.
You are quick on your feet, sir.
That's why I'm getting the big dollars, and you're over there editing going,
we put up some pictures, and it was Kendall Conniff's witch buildup that we shared. And it is one of the best build-ups. He added some lighting to it, and there's a quick little video we had in there. Kendall Conniff, thanks for sharing your witch build-up as well with us, and we'll put it back at the end of the gallery too. But thank you for sending those pictures in. Great build-up, great little details that you added in there. It's beautiful. Well done, sir. Well done. All right.
Okay.
News and reviews, Scott. We have from Paul Gill and William Paquette from Son of Sheer Terror Society, the new... Oh, no, Scott, read it for me. I can't read
Burial
the
Ground.
Burial Ground. I can't see the thing. Oh, I got it. Now I got it. Burial Ground. Great creepy looking piece, as William Paquette can do the best creepy anything. Cool little bust. Contact Paul Gill. And check out Sheer Terror, Son of Sheer. That is the hardest thing to say. Son of Sheer Terror on Facebook.
Mumbles is back.
Yeah,
Mumbles makes a Christmas
and I'm not even drunk.
And did you put the Paul Gill button? Did you hit the Paul Gill button?
Paul Gill, Gillman Productions on Facebook. But this, I need a Son of Sheer Terror Society button. Son of a bitch. I got to make buttons for everybody.
Terrible for you.
But check it out. It's a really cool, nice little piece. It's a reissue, I think, right? And beautiful piece. William is like the best at creepy and just gross. And I love it. Next up, Scott, we have from Mark. Nope.
No, from Mark Warthling.
I was going to say, yeah, from Mark Warthling.
You only say his name 20 times.
I know. God damn it. Next up, but it's from Troy Nehart too. Nehart.
Troy and Mark.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Let's have you say it. All right. Next up, Scott, what do we have?
You mumbling fuck. Okay. So next up, we have the next Yagher Army exclusive, and it's a companion piece to the Karloff Black Cat piece, and this is the Lugosi character. You think I would have done some research and give you the name, but we'll put it up here. But
I think,
anyway,
you know what? This may be the first time, and I know people are going to be mad at us. Scott, have you seen Black Cat?
Some of it.
I have not seen it.
Wow. I have it on my DVR because it was on Spenguli
like
2 months ago.
Me too. I had it on there.
And I keep falling asleep when I try to watch it because I've got a problem. And it's not the movie's fault. It's when I sit down, it's like I have a switch in my ass. And my eyes close and I fall asleep. So, yeah. But I'm looking forward to this one. Again, Lugosi in a different, not in a Dracula outfit is always, it's interesting. Little turtleneck and,
yeah.
So this will be available, I think, after
Great
January,
companion piece.
Mark
they look
said.
really good together right next to each
we'll
other.
we'll get more info on this. We just got the pictures yesterday. They just announced it today in the Yagher Army, I think.
I can wait.
Maybe tomorrow.
I'll do a live fact check on us.
But by the time you see this episode, they will have released details.
So now that I'm going to sound really smart. Dr. Vitus.
Oh, yeah. You sound real smart.
Dr. Vitus Werdegask. From the film The Black Cat. So Dr. Vitus Werdegask. I'm slaughtering this fucking thing.
Boy, sure. You know what? You sound smarter every time you try to say this.
Oh, that's the worst. Dr. Werdegaast. That guy. Bela Lugosi. Great piece. There's this one too. I have this picture of Bella from the movie. So let me save that. Great piece. Great to see they're doing that, and hope it does well. What's this Godzilla go-kart doing up here, Scott? This is an old model. What do you got here for?
It's an old model. It's a reissue. It just came out. I got my 4 copies from Cult TV Man this week. Again, I can't say enough about Cult TV Man's service or anything.
What are you doing with 4 copies of that?
It's just because that's me. Polar Lights reissued this back, I think, in 91 or 92. No, 99. I don't know. Somewhere in there. Anyway, they didn't have the rights to use the word Godzilla. So they just released it as the go-kart, and then they took the back fins off by the parachute and everything and the artwork. So this is the first time this has ever been reissued with the actual full artwork and use of the name Godzilla's go-kart. And I have to say, and even on the Atlantis Godzilla reissue, Aurora, they made him put that god-awful Godzilla logo on the front and just kind of ruined the look of the box a little bit. None of that on this kit. The box is what you see minus the order online at culttvmanshop.com. That was just me giving them a little plug. And that's where I stole the image. But
hey, what I pre-ordered 2 things from there. That
okay.
like how you taught me how to do the pre-order but not pay thing.
Yeah.
So the fly and oh shit, I totally forgot what the other thing.
Anyway, Steve's awesome. And one cool thing about this too is it comes with some decals.
Oh, the Metaluna Mutant
for the helmet. Oh, okay. This comes with, and we should show that here.
Yeah,
but anyway,
put that up. We'll put up pictures.
This, excuse me.
I'm boring him again.
This comes with some decals for the helmet if you want to use decals. The detail's there if you want to paint it, but you can decal it up. There's a Godzilla powered decal or something that can go on the engine or whatever. And then the difference between this and the Polar Lights one is the Polar Lights one had chrome parts that were molded, like the engine parts were all molded in chrome. And not molded in chrome, but chrome plated.
Yeah.
And anyway, this one is all molded in green. So you can do what you want. You don't have to work around that chrome plating or strip it or
I
whatever.
built one of those for somebody once.
Yeah. So anyway, 30 years ago, this would have just made my cockles happy. But
thank God there was a Ols on that.
Yeah. So, all right. The next I'm going to show a few kits from our friend Well Winner that I mentioned earlier. And we have Touche Turtle and Dum Dum. And we also have Rough and Ready. Now, little trivia for you because you're an idiot. I believe Rough and Ready was one of the first, if not the first, Hanna-Barbera cartoon. Okay. And so there you go. There they are. And I really like the way the Rough and Ready, the way he engineered that. Notice that front wheel isn't attached, kind of like you'd see it in a
yeah, so it just it hovers
in a
over
cartoon.
it. Yeah.
It just sits there, but you don't even really kind of notice it because of the way it's engineered and stuff. Like so I don't know. I love this guy's work. He's also put out a set of, they were called the Mighty Heroes.
So one of our listeners, I'm not going to say his name because I don't know if he wants me to put his name. Actually, I think commissioned him to do these.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Yeah, okay. I'm not going to say his name just in case, but because he sent me preview pictures of these a while back.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, we have Strong Man and Cuckoo Man and Rope Man and Diaper Man.
Yeah. Cool.
So those are available on CG Trader.
I want to be Diaper Man. I want to do that for
Diaper Man.
I'm going to do that for Halloween.
And again, I want to personally thank everyone that has bought files from this gentleman because he's awesome. And I love his work. And he's, I'm a big fan of his. And I recently printed something for Sean Nagel, Frankenstein Jr., and he just was so happy with it. So, again, if you want some of these printed, talk to me. I'll see what I can do. I'm a little backed up now, but after the first, I should catch up.
Metamucil works.
And yeah, well, you'd know.
I don't have that problem.
No, because you drink so much alcohol, it just flows through you like milk chocolate, melted milk chocolate. So, anyway, our friend Well Winner.
All right. For as far as news and reviews, other things, I just want to give a shout out, and I mentioned it in our interview that we'll have coming up. On Netflix, there's a show called Arcane. And it's probably for people younger than me, and so you won't watch it at all. But it's an animated show, and it's based on the video game League of Legends, and it's the most beautiful animation I've seen in a long time. Great character design, great story. Check it out. It's it's one of the best things I've seen in a long time, and I really, really like it. So check that out.
And we gave a shout out last episode to Tony's new class.
Oh yeah, let's do it again.
And so let's give Tony another shout out because it's actually out now. So it's ready for download. And I can tell you just by looking at it, just the first episode is almost 2 hours long. So
oh wow, all right.
I think you're getting a lot more content than you did in the first class. But he just kind of dives in where the first class left off, like kind of what's going on. So I think you
need that.
Would be helpful to buy the first class and kind of go watch along with that, and then do the second class. And and I think Tony has some of the files in there, so you can kind of, if you have ZBrush, you can follow along. And if you want, I think there's still a 30-day free trial for ZBrush. So if you want to try it out, there you go.
Yeah.
But
that
Tony's a lot of fun. We talk to Tony a lot. Tony's a lot of fun.
That brings us to the workbench.
The workbench.
Which what we were just talking about, that 3D sculpting class brings me right into what I want to talk about. I purchased a drawing tablet screen thing that was recommended by Rob Madison a while back. The Huon, but I got the one step up because it was like a flash sale. So my next step into getting into trying to do sculpting 3D digitally is now I got to get ZBrush, that's the big purchase. That's the big one. So I just wanted to get, the first thing I wanted to get under my belt was I wanted to get 3D printing done, and I figure out how to do that. And then get the tools, and then I'm going to get that. So eventually we'll see what happens. My FDM printer is going great. How's yours going, Scott?
Great.
In the box?
I haven't had any failures yet. Other than trying to get the damn thing built.
Oh, man. All right.
What's funny is I keep buying stuff for it. Oh, yeah, I'll buy this belt tensioner. Oh, yeah, I'll buy this sensor. Oh, yeah, I'll buy, And I haven't even opened it yet. Actually, I'm hoping tomorrow.
Yeah. You said that last episode, I think?
Yeah, and I still am. It's the holidays. It's crazy.
I know. And that's, you know what? Let's real quick, even though we're on Workbench, next episode, it's between Christmas and New Year's, episode 37. So it'll probably be an abbreviated episode, something shorter. Just Scott and I. And because to try and get a guest on for that episode will be kind of tough. Have you built anything else? You working on anything? How about Workbench? No? Hey, what about that big Galuna? What's going on with that? Damn it, dude. People are going to murder you at Wonderfest in Louisville. If that thing's not ready, you're going to get murdered. You know that, right?
Yeah. Hope you can learn how to cast because you're going to be here.
I'll come help. Listeners, I will come and help Scott. This is my offer. I will go help him do whatever to get this thing out there. So I'm out there. I'm ready to go with it. I'm still working on my one commission. Like, I did get some paint on them. The baseball guys, I got a base coat, but he wanted me to change the collars to more of the old ones. So I sculpted over the collar that was there and then added the up collars, like from the 1918, like kind of uniforms. So that's what I'm working on. And I'm way behind on that. Sucks, but we'll see. That's the workbench. On the FDM printer, you can see behind me, I know it looks really boring now, but eventually I told you this was going to be all filled. I've been printing these paint holders that go on the pegboard. They're really kind of hard to see, but they hold like your typical Vallejo style dropper bottles. They hold Jesse's Garage Kit US colors. They hold those upside down as well. They hold kind Comart paints upside down. Like it's perfect for what that is. They also, I've been printing, they make ones for craft style paint, like the apple barrel or whatever. And they make ones for Citadel paint pots. So I've been working on those, and I eventually want to just kind of fill this up and rebuild all the studio. So that's kind of what I've been working on.
Will the Tamiya's paint?
Oh, probably not. Wait. Dun, dun, dun. Dude, look at that. Tamiya fits right in the craft paint one. So Tamiya does fit in that. Perfectly, actually. Right in there. So these are really useful. These were free on Thingiverse. So I just been cranking them out. It takes like 7 hours a pop. And yeah, dude.
When you print on Thingiverse.
Yeah.
I'm going to make you feel like an asshole now.
Are you going to make me do math?
No. God forbid. No, after you butchered saying that guy's name after you were reading it, I'm going to make you do math now.
I know what you're going to ask, actually. I think I know what you're going to ask.
So when you get these things on Thingiverse and they're free, there's always a thing on there to tip the person.
Yeah.
Do you tip the person ever?
I have not yet. And I say yet because now that these things, I know they work and they work really well, I am going to go back and I'm going to try and do that. Because you can keep re-download again. So that's probably what I'll do. They ask you to tip when you download. So I think when it comes to stuff like this that I'm going to use a lot, I am definitely going to do that. Because those people, I know there's a lot of hard work that goes into that stuff. So if it's something that I know works well, and after I've printed it, I've used it, and I definitely gonna go back and tip those guys. So it's really different than the resin printing.
Harder.
I did print something. I don't know if I want to show it though. I printed a Chun-Li. It's from Street Fighter. And it's the most ridiculous thing I've. Hold on.
We're pausing. We're pausing now while Dickweed goes to get his Chun-Li. Waiting on the Dickweed.
So for kids my age, Street Fighter 2 is one of the greatest video games of all time. Like, I used to go to the arcade and we would get in like tournaments where you have to put your quarter up on the machine and you fight the other guys for hours, and like you take over the machine if you win. And then the next challenger comes up. And so Street Fighter is like a special place in my heart from being a kid. And it was on CG Trader, but I just saw him do something else. So I hope I got it from the right guy. But I checked their names and they matched from the guy that was trying to do it on Fundraiser and the one that's on CG Trader. It was the same guy. So I don't know what's up with that. But anyway, Chun-Li is one of the fighters, and she has in the game really big thighs. Like, because she kicks a lot. So she has these really, but this guy, he overdid it so much that makes it to me just absolutely awesome. And it's done in animated style. I'm touching these barehanded, which I shouldn't be doing because it's not cured all the way yet. But it came in two versions, a bikini version and then a training suit version. But here's her legs. And this is her torso. Look how tiny. And it's just, I love this thing. And she's kind of stretching her arm the way she's handed. And her
why
hair.
aren't you carrying this stuff? What are you doing?
This is her. Wait, let me get close.
I saw it. Look at the ribbons.
Yeah, the ribbons are just.
And again, to those that are not fans of 3D printing, try casting that in a resin.
Look at that. This to me. So there's two versions. I printed both now, so they'll stand next to each other. But it's just thick with two C's, and I love it. And that brings us to our interview, Scott. We had the honor of having Mike Calvert, Jeff Yagher, Mark Van Tine, and Paul Gill on the screen all at the same time, and it didn't go off the rails, which I was really thinking, I was afraid with all those people it would. So it's kind of
signed off.
Yeah, until we signed off. Then it went off the rails. But it's a little shorter than our normal interviews just because there was so much, and I wanted to we're going to have everybody back individually at some point and just go like a little, so it's a little surface, but there's some great stuff. Mike is announcing, Scott. We don't want to say what he's announcing, but we'll have him do it.
We'll let him announce it. We'll see it.
Yeah. But there's a great kid announcement in there, and
how to get on the list.
Yeah, how to get on the list will be in the episode. So enjoy the interview with our lovely guest. All right, we are back, and we are here with Paul Gill, Mark Van Tine, Mike Calvert, and Jeff Yagher. this is going to be either a glorious disaster or just okay. But I'm guessing glorious disaster.
Jeff, who?
I can see disaster.
Yeah, I think so.
Right now,
if it's never really gone off the rails, and I think today could be the day. So that's good. Well, we want something to go off the rails.
Can I mention all of the hair? I mean, gee whiz, look at this. You know, we're like 3 weeks away from being ZZ Top here.
Look at this. We
got my hair dyed. Especially
everybody here's a Boris Karloff.
So let's talk first. Yagher Army. How's it going? Happy everything's like turned out the way it has? Because everyone here kind of has a hand in that. And just talk Yagher Army, guys.
Well, first of all, I avoided Facebook and the internet and all that stuff for the longest time because I saw that it was rotting my children's brains. And mostly I didn't have time for it. I mean, I as you guys know, I sculpt 15 hours a day. And I just thought, well, I just don't have time to oversee a site or to build it or all the stuff that you had to do. And Paul was the one who contacted me and said, you know, we got to do this. We got to, well, let's get together. We got some guys and we'll run it for you. And you don't have to do anything.
It's a vision, man.
Yeah.
I told you that. I said I was thinking about it for months. Like, I didn't think you would ever do it.
Well, I was hesitant at first, but then you called it the Yagher Army, and I had to say yes because I like the sound of that. You coined that. You coined Yagher Army, which I thought was either great or going to get me assassinated. But so far, so good.
In today's day and age, you never know, right? You say army, and they're like, oh, what do you mean? It's like nothing.
My Aurora heads had swirls in them. I know your address, mister.
Oh, man.
All right. Oh, I got your address, pal. Right here. Here.
Oh, yeah. Just pop that up for everybody to see. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks, man. Thanks for the help.
So far to date, how many kits have come out under Yagher Army title?
We did the Black Hat first. Then Mark and Troy did the
Dracula.
The Dracula.
Right.
Jack
Palance. And then
the new one.
Did we do?
New one?
Yeah,
okay.
then the new one.
I think it's just nice.
Oh, I got something. Yeah, we got something. We got something. The next one's gonna be really good.
Here we go. Well, the Facebook group is very active. So if anyone who doesn't know about the Yagher Army, go to Facebook, look up Yagher Army, and join. It's all dedicated to sculptures that Jeff has made, and there's some great stuff in there. Like you'll see the same kit 15 times, but it's always painted different, and they always look cool, and it's nice to check out everyone's interpretation of that stuff. So
isn't it interesting?
It is really cool.
I mean, you can really. Sometimes they can look like two different sculptures with the choices people make and the lighting choices they make. And it's just fascinating to me to see people putting their own spin on it. So much talent out there. There really is so much talent. As I've mentioned before, I don't really, I don't like everything. And, I don't spend a whole lot of time doing that because literally I would not be able to get off the site and I would not be able to do any sculpting because there's so much content, but the talent is fantastic. I mean, I just love it. It's just one of my favorite things to, when I'm taking a break is to browse through there and see what everybody's done. I'm just so impressed with it.
Mark, do you feel the same way when you see your stuff, the same thing? Like when you see other people doing the same thing, the same kit, but two completely different paint jobs? You're just blown away by that too?
It is pretty fascinating. I don't know, Jeff didn't. I started out as a painter, just, fooling around with it. So I love looking at all this stuff. And then I get to watch Paul work, I get to see his stuff as he's progressing, which is always, to me, even the most interesting part. See that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love Paul like one of those bartenders, behind the bar who flips the bottles up, except he's like flipping molds and he's playing rock and roll and he's like juggling.
So we're talking about the next Yagher Army release. And like you said one time, Jason, Mike Calvert ups the game all the time and makes some cool stuff to go with the kits. And check this out. I don't know if you can see it though.
You get in there. All right, wait. Pull it over a little bit.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Hey, look at that.
Look at that guy.
And Mike sent me a photo of that too that we can put in here as well.
Okay, cool.
and then he got J and D. You probably haven't seen this movie, Scott. I'm sorry.
I haven't.
The JB and then on the back, the coaster. It says the thing. I mean, this. Oh man,
that's gonna be cool.
Mike, you are a wizard.
Yeah,
you
Mike.
really
Like,
are.
I am so happy you're doing those little like trinkets that go with the kits. That's awesome.
He really has.
Yeah, well, I mean, I just think it's important to have some, just some accent pieces that kind of add to the kit because, I always try to create something that I would like to receive as a kit personally. So, and I think a lot, in the late 90s, whenever I kind of almost got out of the hobby again, some of the kit producers at that stage were starting to include some nice bits and pieces. And I kind of thought, well, that would be the natural evolution. By this stage, it should be kind of at this point. And I think people appreciate it. I mean, I'm pretty sure they do.
I mean, we don't do it because
they really do.
We sell so many damn kits, different kits. That's the problem. We could never keep up with doing something for each kit.
We've done it, but it's been, whenever we feel like it. Like one of my favorite things to do is, if I have time, is make the little keychains.
Yes.
We had the Bigfoot. He exists. We had the little wolf inside the moon that was part of the poster for American Wolf. American Wolf.
Yeah, we'll do stuff sporadically. But we won't
artwork.
do it all the time. It's just too much.
Speaking of accents, we didn't even mention this. We are the span of this fucking thing right now is ridiculous. So we have Ireland all the way to California, and Mike, you're currently
Scott's in Canada.
And Scott's in Canada because he's Canadian.
I'm in Canada.
He might as well be. I see him that much, and he lives like 6 minutes away. But wow, this is pretty cool. So, where in Ireland are you, Mike?
I'm just outside Belfast. So, Belfast, for those who don't know the geography, Ireland is kind of split into two countries. So, I'm in North Ireland, which is part of the UK, but we're part of the one island of Ireland. So each of those countries has their own capital. The capital of Northern Ireland is Belfast, which is kind of where I am. I'm about sort of 10, 15 miles from Belfast.
Have you ever done any bare knuckle boxing? That's what I want to know.
Are you Mike still?
Not past the age of 8, unfortunately. So.
Isn't that Wales?
And you're supposed to get me some like rocks from Loch Ness, right?
That's Scotland.
Loch Ness is Scotland, Paul.
It's not that far. Not that far.
It's just a ferry.
Just a ferry right away.
He calls you a ferry, Michael. Uh-oh. Put him up. Put him up. Put him up.
Mike, how thick is my accent? Is it super Chicago-y? Like yours is super Irishy? Do I sound ridiculous?
Irishy.
To be honest,
that's a new word.
I couldn't tell you were from Chicago.
This is like perfect. like a movie, hey,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Standard American English.
So real quick, let's just do the times. Mike, what time is it there? What time of the day is
it? It's just gone 9 p.m., so it's like 9:30.
Okay. East Coast, Paul?
16:28.
Okay, that's so 4:30.
4:28.
And then Jeff, you're how far in the there you go, 1:29. All right. Wow. So Mike, what's going to happen in the future? That's what we need to know. We could place some bets.
You going to tell him?
I don't know. It's going to cost some money, I think.
He's from Belfast.
Yeah, there you go.
You got to pay.
So we'll be definitely working a little bit more together for certain reasons, good reasons.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So, Paul and Mark, what do you guys got coming out? What are you working on?
Well, you saw the hatchet.
Yes, very cool piece.
Swamp killer or whatever. But did you saw the faces, right?
Yeah, the faces. We're gonna have them up here. We have your split faces on the bottom. The kit.
That's a first for me.
That's the first time you
doing a self-portrait.
Really?
Yeah, never did. Well, I mean, I painted and drawn them, but not even that often. Yeah, this is the first time I ever sculpted the only other person I ever sculpted that I know like that well was Saul. Many years ago. He's one of the dead bodies on a base. Yeah. But
I'm gonna be doing Mark Warthling here pretty soon.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
He's gonna do that Godzilla box art thing, but he wants he's gonna make a second head, but he wants him like inside the costume. So I think I should just do them from the nose up, because that neck, comes up so high, just like where's
How long
Waldo?
ago did he come up with that idea?
Let me just say one quick thing about that.
Yeah.
The fact that I only sculpted the profiles and didn't have to sculpt both sides of the face was so liberating. It was easier.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I didn't have to worry about symmetry.
You've spent half your time is spent on symmetry, which is why, and this is a great segue into our next.
I was just going to say it too. I'll bet you. I was just going to say it too.
Computerized sculpting. You can push a button and you'll sculpt one side and it automatically sculpts the opposite side. So you actually have to screw it up on purpose just to make it look natural, because otherwise it'll look too cookie cutter. But having an eye for symmetry is half the battle for an artist. So with that solved,
it's also a curse for me. If I see something off by like a millimeter, it drives me insane, and I can tell that this side is like, ugh.
Well,
what do you mean, digital or clay or both?
Well, digital, you can solve that problem immediately, but clay.
No, I mean him.
Oh, me? If I see a picture hanging on the wall and it's off by like just a little bit, I can tell, and it drives me nuts. Or if I'm drawing a rectangle and I'm putting if I'm just putting like a picture frame inside of something, I can tell that it's off, and it drives me. Like, that's why I don't have any tattoos, because I'm afraid that the guy's going to do it like wrong and it'll be like a millimeter off. And for the rest of my life, I'll go insane looking at my arm going, oh God, I'll carve it out.
No, they got pills.
You hate that character after a while.
They got pills for that.
I need those pills.
No shit. Well, and I learned, Tony Cipriano had a ZBrush class, and that's one of the first things, Tony's always turning on symmetry, and it's just amazing watching it. And like you said, it's half the battle starting, at least.
Yeah.
You'll have to go back and adjust it.
Right.
At some point.
Well, you do, because nobody's face is that symmetrical. I mean, you'll never get like this if you. But I mean, the heartbreakers is, you've finished a piece and you've done all the tiny detail, and then you're looking like one eye is like, a 32nd of an inch deeper than the other, and you got to go, God, you got to, do it all over again. So.
Hey, I've got a lazy eye. I want to see somebody sculpt that.
How do you size things with that? Like, I was thinking, like, if I tell Jeff or Mark, let's do a quarter scale, they basically make it quarter scale. But how do you tell the computer to get it that exact size you want?
That's easy. That's easy. You just choose it, and you could just. You can basically just like.
So you could shrink it on the screen, and that'll be the size. That's okay.
But if you have a bigger screen as opposed to a smaller screen.
Plus, when you go to print it too, you can print it. Sometimes I get something that if I print it, it's only going to be 5 inches tall. But if I blow it up to 100%, then it's going to be 10 inches tall. So you can play with it that way too.
I've had that problem a little bit. When I see something, it's hard to know how big it's going to come out on the printer. So you can import an STL file of a ruler that's to scale, and then put it inside when you're looking at it, and then say, oh, okay, it needs to be this tall. There's this, that's an easy way for dumb people like me. It's an easy way to just.
So what do you, Jason? We ordered the Mega 5K.
Nice.
And my thing is that I saw some people. He was doing like rows and rows of miniatures. And I'm saying, shit, like if we do hands or hard parts, you do rows and rows of those, and those would go right.
The way to do it.
A hand like this.
You can basically
this.
You can sculpt it like an egg and then push a button and cover it with texture, and suddenly it's a rock.
Yeah,
it's cheating. It's just straight up cheating.
It is cheating.
Coming up with these weird things, because I was telling Scott I don't have a plan, but I ordered all this equipment. We spent like $1 million, and
$1 million.
It seems like $1 million.
You should have spent that better, actually.
Yeah.
Dude, whatever.
Save some money for your children, man. Save some money for your children.
But we're going to try to make this work with clay. Like, I do not want to go full digital. I think that for doing that, it's boring to me personally. But like, if we could incorporate the same likenesses that these guys are doing and do some of the base parts or the difficult parts, or if you want to put like a little whatever, that's what it would be good for, and that's how we.
And certainly stuff that's a pain in the butt to cast, like tiny, filamental things that would be just impossible to do casting wise. You could print those out, and as long as you're careful with them,
Like if you had
would you want that printed first? Like design the part and then work the sculpture around the part, or vice versa?
That's a good question.
I thought about that.
I think it would probably depend on the piece. I mean, how intricate it would be to the size of the piece. And I mean, I guess you can change the size if you want to, but a lot of times what Sideshow used to do is they used to send me the bits and pieces so that I could incorporate them in the sculpt, and I could, have them the right size for the base.
This is in our own ballpark too. We could just work on all of it at once. If you're thinking maybe, well, I got to get that hand at least established so I can figure it out, and then sculpt the rest. Then you don't have to bake the clay.
Yeah.
So after you're ready.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool, right? Like, here the hands, finish the sculpture, start the sculpture. You know what I mean? Hands are done.
Well, I tell you, the only thing that you can't really do on its own yet is you can't really just like pop in a number and make a like. So that's still my wheelhouse for that is still for the moment safe. Although I got to tell you, it's changing rapidly. I mean, Joe Simon's just breathing down my neck in terms of likenesses, man. That guy has just gone, oh wow, this is my wheelhouse. So he's really doing good stuff now.
Were you just saying that you can't type in text?
No, he's saying like you can't push a button and say, I want a Bela Lugosi. I'm going to push this button. There's his face.
Right. You can't like pop in a picture and say, 3-dimensionalize that and just have it suddenly appear. I mean,
that'll happen.
But what'll happen is, like in your case, Jeff, you could sculpt a Bela Lugosi, and the next time someone wants a Lugosi, you can take it and then maybe change it a little bit or change the mouth or the expression. But you might have the base Lugosi to go off of once
That's true.
If you are the sculptor.
You'll have to do it one more time, Jeff. You'll have to sculpt a Lugosi one more time if you put it in the computer.
One more Karloff.
Where's the fun in that?
Yeah.
But I also agree that the clay sculptures, the stuff like that Jeff does and the stuff Mark's done over the years, it's still got a little more life than a lot of these digital sculpts. But I'm with Jeff as well. It's catching up. Okay, it is catching up. I like the idea of seeing Garage Kit guys incorporate both. Whatever it is, if you've got, like you said, some intricate, like a candelabra or something that who the hell wants to cast it?
Yeah.
It's there it is, print 10 of them at a time,
And at the end of the day, it really is still, even with full on digital, it's still the artist, the artist's take on things. You need to have the ability to step inside the character and choose a moment in time. And I mean, the kind of stiff stuff that you used to think was good or people used to buy, they don't buy it anymore. I mean, you have to have a take on something that's like Paul had a great idea for the Superman where he's pulling his shirt open. The Keanu Christopher Reeve character is pulling his shirt open, and you got to have those kind of moments that really show character and movement and get people excited.
Yeah. Speaking of like a market for things, in Ireland, is there a huge garage kit business, like hobby? Are they there? Or, like, are you shipping all over the world versus to people in Belfast?
I would say 90% of the kits that I do go to the US. The rest of them go to England. I mean, there's kind of like there's two other guys that I know of in Ireland who collect kits. And it's always been that way. It's always
but that's what we were talking about. So we're going to work some things out so it's less stress for you. And we have some plans.
Okay.
Right, Mikey?
Well, we've got to, I mean, I don't know. There's not a whole lot of cinema. Well, it's changing though. I mean, there's more cinema coming out of Ireland, but I don't see a lot of horror or classic monsters coming out of Ireland. And so once that starts happening, I mean, you have to have the fan base there. You know, you have to have the love of the characters first. And I mean, everybody loves the Hollywood stuff, but you know, we've seen it. So when Ireland comes out with its, you know, unique, you know, Michael O'Myers or whatever they're going to do.
Michael O'Myers.
Oh man.
You know.
He's got like, what's it, shillelagh? They call it. Or?
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
I hesitate to do the Irish joke because you know.
I always was terrified from the Disney movie Darby O'Gill and the Little People. That banshee at the end is terrifying.
Yes,
that thing's awesome.
But see, that's not an Irish movie. That's an American movie.
It is an American movie, but set in Ireland. There you go.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know whether it's insulting to the people from Ireland if they just go, we saw that. What the hell is this? Then you know, what are you doing? You know, that's a stupid accent.
That's Sean Connery.
With Sean Connery, he was in there, right? A Scottish guy playing.
Yeah, a Scottish guy. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's probably the biggest insult there.
So, Mike, what do you got coming out? What's new with you guys? What's new at Typhon? What's coming up?
Since Jeff was sitting here, we'll talk about the piece that Jeff has just. He finished it quite a while ago. He probably finished it 3 months ago. But I've just had a lot of stuff going on, and things have kind of slowed down a little bit. So it's going to be a January release, and it's going to be the. I think you guys actually featured it a couple of episodes ago. Got a picture or two up of Milicent Patrick.
Very
cool. I just think it's important to, you know, recognize some of the people that maybe didn't get a fair crack at the time, and so I think she was kind of overlooked for a number of reasons. And
absolutely,
we really just wanted to kind of tie in. I mean, the creature's obviously a huge character as well. It's, you know, it's got a huge fan base and very popular. So want to kind of tie that in with Milicent as well, and just kind of give a nod to her because I think she deserves it. So
that's a very beautiful piece.
If you've seen it, I mean, Jeff just it's incredible.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it was a great choice that you made, and I think it's a great choice to do the makeup artists with their creations. I think that's a great line of stuff. We should do Roy Ashton. We should do
your brother,
Tom Savini, my brother. Wow.
Awkward.
Yeah, did I do my brother?
If you had, hold on, if you had to do your brother, which would be his creation that you would put him with?
Well, it's got to be Freddy Krueger.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, it's got to be Freddy.
I'd probably ask him, and then I'd check the likeness with him every 5 seconds. He'd be like, yeah, you know that plan we had for Christmas at our house? Yeah, that's off.
That's off.
How was this? What, did he create Chucky, or the design was given to him, or what's his involvement in Chucky?
He got a very simple drawing done by the producer, Tom Holland, I think did that, although I'm not sure. And it was kind of like, and I don't know whether he personally did it or he had it done, but it was kind of just a sketch of a doll that was kind of, you know, a nice guy doll, just a generic kind of thing. And they had the suspenders and all that. And from that, Kevin put his own spin on it and created what you see in the film. And then, of course, when he turns mean, he made all those choices. So the look of the Chucky doll is all Kevin. And the
Chucky's a little bit more relevant now than Freddy at this point, you know?
Well, I still think Freddy is so iconic. I mean, you know, and Kevin didn't do the first movie, so he didn't establish the burns on the face, but his Freddy is the one that everybody recognizes because the first Freddy was so much in shadow. What you don't see is it looked like somebody just threw spaghetti on it, you know, because they didn't do a very good job with the stuff, but Kevin really, you know, researched the burns and things, and so his Freddy is the one that everybody kind of recognizes.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's kind of cool that he did something that's so embedded in the culture now. It's, you know, 100 years after his death, they're still going to know who.
Yeah.
So I have a question for Jeff, and it's going to pertain to Mike and Paul. Since the first time we had you on, a little over a year ago, wow. I still think one of our best watched episodes. So you're good for the ratings, Jeff. There were a couple pieces that you've done, you know, since then that just really impressed me. The Karloff Black Cat piece, the any of this Hammer stuff that you're doing for
his name is Paul.
Paul, yeah, that's Paul.
This guy.
Paul, yeah, the guy with the beard with the shades. And then the Imhotep that you did for Mike is like one of the favorite things I bought in the last year. And it was like, and it just seems like when you get some of this fresh stuff that you haven't done 100 times, man, you can just tell you're really into it when you, I mean, would you say that's accurate? I'm not saying you don't get everybody 100%, but I'm saying that just seems like, man, this is new and I'm going to try this. And just, they're beautiful pieces.
I get excited about stuff I've never seen before yet, because I know that I'd want to have a copy. So, you know what I mean? So I work extra special hard on stuff like that, because I know that I want it in my own collection, and I don't want it. It's like, you know, when you talk about things being off, and, you know, if I don't sculpt something well and it's sitting on my shelf back here, it bothers me. Every time I come in, I have to go, I can't look at it. So it just kind of ups my game a little bit to do something like that.
Mark, same question.
Idea,
What do you like to sculpt when it's like in your wheelhouse? What's your favorite thing?
Well, when I'm sculpting, it's always the thing I'm sculpting is my favorite thing, and that's like it's a mind game I've always played with myself. You know, I get so into the thing that it becomes, you know, like when I sculpted Elsa Lanchester many years ago, and then when I was sculpting it, I fell in love with Elsa Lanchester. I thought she was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. You know, when I was sculpting it as the bride, and that's how it keeps my interest into those things. But if I given a choice, I do love a lot of the universals, although I haven't sculpted as many lately. I love things with fur. Yeah, I especially love King Kong. But yeah, I like werewolves. I especially love werewolves. And even though it's been a long time, superheroes were my thing for a long time.
Dude, I've got your Daredevil kit you did years ago. For Jayco. I have you've sculpted two of my favorite Bowen pieces that I have, the Man Thing and Mysterio. And the Mysterio was one that I didn't even pre-order. And when I saw it sitting on the shelf in the shop, I was like, this thing's beautiful. I got to have it. So I just bought the one they had. And then I got to give you a shout out too on the first of that series that you did, the Pretorius Bust. Was just, I remember looking at that going, wow.
Like this one, right?
That was an important piece for me.
You know, and that's I remember really too, I think it was Ray Harryhausen bought the set painted from you guys at Wonderfest that one year, and they were on his shelf till he died, I believe. So
wow, that is very cool.
That was a monumental time when Ray showed an interest in those and came over, and like when he picked up the Bride of Frankenstein, he looked at her and he goes, "Boy, that's Elsa." And I'm thinking he probably knew her. I guess he probably did, right, at some point. And it was just the way he said it. That's Elsa. He didn't call her the Bride. That's Elsa. And
she was originally cast in 1 million BC, but the fur was too itchy for her, so they
really.
Yeah. No, of course not. What are you kidding?
She would have been a little older.
I believe
it. Can you see her out there with a spear, like those little furry shoes?
The dumbass award goes to. Oh, yeah.
But the Pretorius was a monumental piece because I struggled with facial anatomy. I was a painter, you know, an illustrator before. I still am, but it's amazing how what you can work with reference on a face, and you know, like the 3/4 view, and you know generally what eyes and stuff look like, but you're remembering what you've done in the past. When it came to sculpting, I realized that I didn't actually know the depth of things in reality, and it took years. And the Pretorius was really monumental. It was the first time I did a face that I was like, I like that, and it showed. People bought that.
Speaking of being an illustrator, the kits that you draw the little pictures on the bottom of, every time one of those crosses through here, Mark, when you put the little sketch on the bottom, it blows me away. It blows me away. I'm like, you're one of those illustrators that I hate because you can do so much with just so few little lines. And you're like, I'm like, it's so simple, but it's so effective the way you were drawing.
But you know, that counts as an extra, Jason.
It does. Like, it totally does.
It does count as an extra.
It totally does. But I don't think people know they get that. If it comes, it's a surprise when it gets there. It's really cool to see. And it is totally.
I used to do more of them. just there's too much.
Yeah, I think people
it's
engage
tough.
it.
And it wears me down.
It does.
Some of them now I've simplified and given.
Mike, what's your favorite subject matter when you do a lot of Universal stuff? But is that more because you know people are going to buy that, or is it something you really love? Is there other types of characters you love to put out as kits or haven't done yet?
Universal stuff would be definitely my favorite. So it's great that it sells well, as also because it's a kind of win-win for me, because I try to do just what Jeff was saying. It's refreshing for him to do something he hasn't done before, even though they're characters we've all seen. I try to always find that niche that maybe hasn't been tackled before, like with the Imhotep, for example. But I love Japanese stuff, manga and all that kind of stuff, and so I do kind of hoard a lot of that stuff. And certainly, when I got into the garage kits, Brian, actually, my partner in Typhon, Brian, who is this kind of elusive character, Brian doesn't do social media or the internet at all. So
smart guy.
Sometimes you can see him like in the background playing an organ.
Yeah.
I get the same question when he's done.
Yeah.
But Brian kind of introduced me to Billiken back in the day and all that kind of stuff, and Tascuda and these companies, and I was kind of like, oh shit, look at this stuff, because I was a massive Star Wars freak. Star Wars kind of led me down the path into kits, because I think the Screaming kits were some of the first that I bought, and I leaned towards the Star Wars ones, and the so. Oh yeah, right, okay. That was bought.
If he turns that on and it goes through Mark's head, we're gonna have it all on video.
Oh yeah.
Man, if I was better at special effects, that would be cool.
Yeah. I bought that in St. Mark's Comics in New York, probably 94, 95, something like that.
Where?
Oh wow.
Jim
St.
Hansen?
Mark's.
St. Mark's, where we used to go.
St. Mark's.
We used to go there all the time.
Yeah, because I would have went back and forward to New York maybe 3-4 times a year just to buy toys, kits, whatever.
Wow, you are a fan, my friend.
I traded toys back in the day. That's kind of another kind of one of my leads into kits was I did a lot of toy trading. There's a guy called Brian Semling. He has a company called Brian's Toys, and he's arguably the largest toy trader in the world at the minute. But in Brian's own words, I kind of gave him his inventory to get started. So, and that's a true story. I went back and forward. Brian lives in Wisconsin. Well, he certainly did live in Wisconsin at the time. And
behind the cheddar curtain.
Sorry?
Behind the cheddar curtain. That's a thing from around here. Never mind.
Yeah, we call cheese heads here because they're famous for cheese. And
there's a cheese mafia, so there's a whole underground,
And they can't drive either, so.
You do realize there is no real cheese in America. You realize that?
I just came to a realization here, and maybe the four of you want to touch on this, in that you guys all were in the hobby early, then kind of went away for a while, and then came back. Now we kind of know Jeff's story. John kind of coerced you back in and got you going. Let's start with and Mark. Well, even you were gone for a little while and kind of came back, with Paul there too. So why don't you two start? You're gone for a while. You came back. What brought you back? Let's ask that. What brought you back? Yeah.
Seriously, what brought me back was the end of a relationship and the fact that I found myself in a really bad situation when some of the hospitals I worked in New York started shutting down. And I just kind of was like, what the hell am I going to do? I was living up in the mountains in the Pocono. And it just hit me like a light bulb. And I was like, Yola Dottie, remember me? Paul! I was like, you want to make kids again? It's like 13 years. He's like, sure. So I got in it with Joe Ladati, started producing the kids, and then I started talking with Don Diaz. I called him up out of the blue. Hey, John, how you doing? And then eventually it was like, well, where's Mark Van Tine? He was amazing. Oh, Mark's living in Jersey. He's working here. He's doing this and that. I was like, screw that. I'm living here by myself in this house now. So basically, I found Mark. Hey, you want to come live in the Poconos? He was like, yeah, whatever. So he came up to live with me, and that's like how Gillman Productions restarted. Through adversity, actually.
So did you follow it? Did you still follow the Garage Kid hobby while you were
there? Because I had a beautiful career in New York City as a paramedic and EMT. I was making good money, and I was always really a toy collector more than I was a model kit collector. So I was just fueling that fire while I worked. I had no time to paint anymore, which is a shame because in the beginning I was pretty good. And then I just stopped, you know. So, I mean, that's really it.
How about you, Mark? Did you follow it still, even when you were?
I only had 2 short breaks, kind of. One when my son was born, and we bought a house, my wife and I, and then I picked it back up after. Well, I became single again, and I felt like I needed something to do, and I started working more with John Diaz at the time too. And that was when all that superhero stuff came out, and then the Pretorius, a lot of that stuff, like the Pretorius stuff in particular, is something I did on my own. And it just seemed like, hey, let's try that. But then after that, there was another little setback in my life, and I missed a couple of years. And then that's when I talked to Paul. And I just kind of got back into it. And I'm probably doing the best work I ever did right now.
It wasn't fast either. It was a slow process. I thought in my mind, I was like, start sculpting. You know, I was like, what? You ain't got like 5 things done yet?
Reference.
I'm a pain in the ass. I am a freaking pain in the ass. And
I was slightly traumatized. And it was hard. It was tough to get back into it.
We did that Caesar. That's the first one we did was the Caesar.
That's great. That's a great piece, by the way, Mark. That's really good.
You know which one?
I hadn't sculpted in a couple years.
We did 2, but the initial one was the new movie. From the new.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, that's the one.
Okay, yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, really good work.
That was his first foray back into the hobby.
It had been like about 3 years since I really put any effort into sculpting. And, you know, it was inevitable. It was inevitable. You know, it was going to happen. I can't stay away from this. I mean,
I know.
You know, I chose it when I was young. I chose the art path when I was young.
Yeah. If I ever got sent to prison, I'd be like, you know, buying people's like old gum and stuff so I could just like mush it together and like make some sort of like
so in essence, super sculpting.
Yeah, it's soap sculpting.
That leaves so many questions.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, well, boy, what do you do for this gum, boy?
Like, Bubba, leave his ass alone and I'll sculpt.
I would escape sexual enslavement by like, no, I can do your portrait, man, but not if I can't sit down. You understand what I'm saying?
Mike, how'd you get back in? Huh? Mike, how did you get dragged back in?
Well, Brian, I'll go to the start. How I got into the hobby, you know, in terms of production. Brian was a bit of an oracle of information, and he actually worked in a factory close by where we live, and they produced some like resin cottages and this kind of stuff. You know, this kind of. So Brian had a real grip on molding and casting already. So we were way ahead of the game in that respect. So we met the guys from Fifth Sense Models. You probably remember.
Yeah. Scott, are they mad at us from last episode? No.
Who's that?
Fifth Sense.
Right.
We're still on good terms with them, I think.
Oh yeah, no, we're all
okay.
Good.
All right.
We're all good.
All right.
So,
Terry got us in trouble last episode.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
we'll tell you off camera, but
we'll
yeah,
tell you later.
Yeah. So Mike Hill was doing a lot of stuff back then for Fifth Sense. So we were kind of molding all Mike Hill's stuff and doing the cast. So right about that time, we decided we want to do our own thing, and we kind of got a lot of stuff together. We were going to be called Resin Relics. But just around about that time, we did a show in Birmingham in England, and we had a Crouching Predator kit, and we got a cease and desist at the show by a rep from 20th Century Fox. So there was that, plus a lot of the pre-paint stuff started to come out in the late 90s, and it just kind of felt to me like the hobby was going to die, and we just kind of let it fizz out. We didn't actually take it forward. So fast forward 20 years, and I've started building guitars with another friend of mine, Chris Moore, and we come up with this concept for 3 guitars called the Three Devils. We were going to make them. Well, we still do plan to make them, but they're going to be made from Andaman Paduk, which is like a bright red tone wood. And I came up with this idea. We started talking about kits and bits and pieces and sculptures and this kind of thing. And I said to Chris, how cool would it be to have a quarter scale bust of, representing each one of these 3 devils? So that was Lucifer, Leviathan, and Beelzebub. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to have a look on Facebook, a look online and this kind of thing, and looked up some old sculptors, started speaking to some guys, and ended up speaking to Ken Kidwell. And I think I sent some pictures through of the bust that Ken did for me for that. So once that happened, I showed this to Brian, and Brian's like, oh man, we got to do kits. I mean, the hobby's still going and all this kind of stuff, because we just thought it was dead and buried. And Facebook then just kind of changed that for us. And so the guitars are kind of parked over here. I've got like 6 projects that are half done. They need to get finished.
When I was looking through those pictures you sent to the guitar stuff, I love seeing other people's stuff outside of garage kits and just the craftsmanship on that. Holy cow, it's beautiful. I'm going to put some of those pictures up here. I want everyone out. When you guys are done, watch this episode so you can see these guitar pictures. It is just gorgeous work. Gorgeous. Acoustic, just beautiful guitars.
Yeah, everything about it there is about wood. I got to tell you, man. You know the history of wood and how wood was.
Don't get me started. Yeah, don't get me started on wood, man.
Hey, pal, you go to prison, you're going to know about wood too. Okay, you better bring a lot of gun. Okay,
let me ask a simple wood question, Mike. What's your favorite wood?
Morning.
Scott, if you had morning wood, I'd be surprised if it's still working.
I'm gonna be really boring and say it's gonna be there's a Brazilian tone wood called Kingwood, and it was the king of Portugal. Whenever the Portuguese went and colonized Brazil, he kind of seen this wood and he went, I want everything I own made from this wood, so it became Kingwood. That's awesome. That's a true story. That's exactly
awesome.
No kidding. Wow.
So it's a rose. It's actually a rosewood, and it's absolutely beautiful, and it makes stunning guitars. So,
have you ever made one out of human bone? Skip that. Don't it? That's it.
My favorite wood is the dowel type. I don't know how they grow it so straight. Every day. They are perfect.
It's like the lollipop tree. That's kind of
yes. But sometimes they're thick. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Don't go into a dark place with that one.
Yeah,
Mike, you were
revisit the guitars.
You sent us some other pictures, Mike, of some like souvenirs and signage from around your area for the Titanic. Do you want to talk about some of that for a second and let these guys know about that too?
It's something that Brian and I, we talked about how we left the hobby behind. Well, Brian and I have always been friends. We've been friends for over 30 years. We both play guitar, which is how we kind of met initially. And then we realized we both love sci-fi. We both love horror. And that's where the kits came into it. So over the period where we weren't involved in the hobby, we still wanted to create some stuff. And so obviously the Titanic was launched out of Belfast and all that. Bizarrely, a lot of people, I think it's a great thing. A lot of people here are almost embarrassed by it. It's like, yeah, but the fucking thing sank. It's like, well, yeah, but it's iconic. It's, So, I mean, Belfast, Northern Ireland as a whole, doesn't really take advantage of the fact that the Titanic, was built here. So, yeah, we kind of took the White Star Line and some of the bits and pieces we could find online and try to replicate those things. And there's a new visitor centre in Belfast now. It's actually very, very good, and they've got some nice bits and pieces that on the lead up to the entrance to the museum. We tried to replicate those, and then they have a souvenir shop and gift shop there. So we supply those guys with the bits and pieces that we've
That's really cool.
we've created. So yeah, so it's really just for fun. To be honest, there's no money in it. I mean, it's a labour of love because we use all the patinas and whatnot to make them kind of have that look. So it's like 10 hours to make one piece, And
It's Christmas time. If Santa could bring you guys one kit that you've never owned, I guess it would be a Grail kit question. Doesn't have to be one you sculpted or any, like, if you could get one kit that you've always wanted this year under the tree, what would it be? We'll start with Mike, since you raised your hand first.
The Jersey Devil by Dan Platt.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
I need it. I need that kit. Anyone out there who has it, I want it.
I know someone that has one built and painted, and I don't know if he's sold it or not. I'm wondering if he still has it. That's a great kit. Paul and Mark, answer.
I actually had an opportunity to get my original Holy Grail, and I've got that. That was Jill Daddy's King Kong on the back of the T-Rex. Got that. So now, if I could have anything, it would be all the Sideshow, the Barker Brothers. I don't know if you remember those. They had each one B-A-R, and it started out with Schlitzie, and then they had the Screaming Bullet, and then they had Lionel.
Wolf.
And I never got them at the time, and I should have, because it was still new to me, and I was like, wow, they're more expensive than most of the other kits. And now I'm thinking, God, I crack myself in the head.
I thought the same thing back then. I'm like, man, those are it's for a college kid. I was like, I can't afford this. There's no way.
I just drool over those kits.
Yeah, those are nice.
I don't know. I just love the concept.
Paul, what would you get?
Well, if I wouldn't have been able to get those Billiken Gargantuas, because in the beginning, nobody knew if you'd be able to get them because they were very limited, but now you can see they're not. It would have been that. But I was just talking to Danny Shiraka last night, and he asked me, any kits you're looking for, really want? And it'd be a Billiken Bride, believe it or not, for my Billiken collection. So that's pretty simple.
Okay.
I knew it was going to be a Billiken kit. I just didn't know which one.
I had one of those. I wish I'd have known you. I had one of those for a long time.
Oh, dang. Nice. Jeff, what
used to be the Billiken heads. You ever seen those? Oh, my God. Those Billiken heads.
Here he goes. He's running up. We got him excited.
If I could choose one from...
The dog's got the head in his mouth right now going, I can't have it.
What were you saying, Mark?
Play this game here. If I could choose one from somebody on the panel here, I've always loved Jeff's Devonian account.
Yeah.
I have the original curse. Jeff's Devonian encounter was one of my favorites.
You mean Zach's Devonian encounter up there on the show?
Is that it right there? Yep. That's it. I love that kit. And I never got that at the time either. I don't know why.
I don't know if Terry's still carrying them or not. He might be. I mean, you could ask him.
I always thought that was amazing. The design of it was brilliant.
So
that actually came to me in a dream.
What? Really?
Ooh,
you can't see these, right? Can you see them? Well, these are the Billiken heads. And for years.
For what?
They were just like, Billiken made these. It was Clint Eastwood.
Oh, yeah.
It was, they're not that great, but there's something about them.
You can see what it looks like through that picture. Oh, flip back a little bit.
There we go.
Oh, that's that's Steve McQueen, yeah.
Flip back away from him.
There we go.
Elvis?
Is that? I can't tell.
It's hard because it's so washed out. It's hard to see the images.
And the Vic Monroe.
Vic Morrow, yeah. Wow.
The head stays on.
Wow. Those are really good.
Jeff, which one would you pick if you could get one? One kit for Christmas.
One kit for Christmas. Well, it's not really a kit. It's a pre-paint. So I don't know if
there you go. That
cheating.
counts. That totally counts.
But Steve Wang did a creature for a thing called Cinemaquette, which stands up. It's a third scale. So it stands about this tall, and it's freaking gorgeous. I mean, it is drop dead gorgeous. And it's got the feet in the water and the clear resin water and stuff. And I mean, he just knocked it out of the park.
Is this the one that he did as the sample when he was playing with Monster Clay in the beginning?
I think that's right. I think he did Monster Clay for Cinemaquette.
Yeah.
And they, they just cherry everything out. I got a couple of Cinemaquette pieces. I don't know if you can see. There's back there. There's the Vito Corleone there on the shelf next to Batman, and then over here.
Scott. Oh.
We got an Indiana Jones I did for them. Like way up it's in like the middle of the. So they do just great stuff, and I've always wanted that, but it's like $7,000 now. So
that's it.
Yeah, it's not going to be something I'm never going to own, but it's really pretty.
Hey, Hey, you better hope you don't want it bad, Paul, because the price will start to go up on the sculpts.
I remember when I went to San Diego Comic-Con. They had the Vito Corleone prototype in a display case, cinema kit. I never seen that there, the original.
Yeah, that's a $6,000 piece now. Yeah, I mean, I think at the time you could get it for $2,500 along with the Indiana Jones, and now they're just sky high.
They did a Predator, right? They did a nice Predator.
They did a nice Predator. Steve Wang did that one as well. Really, really great Predator. The creature, of course, it's it's a universal monster. So,
Scott, what would you get?
That's my jam.
But that's
you have to think. No,
I do have to think because there's so many kits over the years that I've tracked down and hunted down and gotten that it's
Horizon.
Your collection is probably
no Horizon Doctor Doom.
Oh, that's
cool. Right.
It is nice.
Your collection is probably full of 3 shows.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Horizon Doctor Doom. Oh.
Just suggestions.
God, hate it. I don't even know.
I'm stretching my back, guys.
Those are cool.
I think I would go Jeff's route maybe with a pre-paint. And I did like the Sideshow Galactus quite a bit. And if Tony would ever finish that King Kong in the Empire State Building, that would certainly be a grail.
That's what I thought you were going to say. Yep.
That's a beautiful looking sculpture. That is a realistic sculpture. Look, it even moves. It's really good.
That one Paul's got. Yeah, that's a little maquette.
That's the next step. Once we get past this computer image thing, is that you start to do sculptures that move. I think it would be great to have you would just have the Wolfman and you would have a little projector on the face that was hidden in a tree or something, and it does the change from the from Talbot to the Wolfman, or you would have Henry Frankenstein just going up and down slightly as the sound goes, it's alive, it's alive, it's alive.
I think you guys. I don't think that would be that hard to do. I think someone should try that.
I think so.
You get a little projector. Oh man!
You can make the equipment for the laboratory. I think me and Scott were talking about that. Yeah. For Frankenstein or any of that.
You hit a button, you have 2 things moving, and then all the wheels and gizmos going on, the light show in the background. It would frickin' be awesome. It'd be expensive, but it'd be awesome.
Be very cool. I would like future Erosive Guyver or Vampu. Those are the 2 I could never track down.
Vampu, that's great.
Those. But
yeah.
Future for everybody. Where are we at? What's going on? Most recent stuff. So we got the Hatchet. What else do we have, Paul and Mark?
We got
the Frankenstein. I don't think we talked about that yet for the hammer.
I got it right here.
Okay. We need elevator music.
Yeah, you can edit that.
Yeah, I know.
Is that a casting?
No.
Oh, is that the original?
Is it mine?
It's Yagher Gray.
Where's mine? Where's mine?
Over.
Yagher Gray.
The evil of
a new paint color. Yagher Gray.
It's getting, I keep getting, I don't tell him, but I get a lot of people, you should make this one next, you should make that one next, you should make this one next. I don't know which one to make next now, And then we got the Fright Night.
Raquel Welch for 1 million BC. That would be cool. That's a Hammer film.
Yeah.
We got the Fright Night stuff coming out, and then we're supposed to be doing the line of Alien Bust, those.
Right.
And then Mike is supposed to get into we want to do all the soldiers for Predator.
Predator, right.
Yeah. Want to do that line.
So wow. Nice. That would be cool.
Yeah. And I think the idea,
the crew from the Nostromo, maybe later on the Marines, try. I mean, you can only do so many of them.
I think the idea is that we do all of the human characters from both of those films, and then the final piece, the one that goes in the middle, is the creature. So, the alien will be in the center, and it'll be larger to scale, and then all the quarter scale things around it. And same with Predator, we just do a big ass Predator.
Oh,
but I know we got some stuff planned for Wonderfest. I know Mark has I can't talk about it, but it's going to be an amazing project.
Yeah, that's my problem. I can't talk about the stuff that's not a lot of it unless it's just my being hall.
But no, it's the Fright Night. We're going to continue that because the Amy was very popular, so we're going to do that.
Oh yeah, the main four, which is really always been weird to me because when you talk about the main four, it doesn't involve the star of the movie, Charlie.
Yeah,
what's the kid of Charlie?
Charlie.
Charlie, Billy's a friend of mine.
Wants a Charlie in the box.
Nobody wants a Charlie in the box.
That's a Charlie. So Mark's got stuff coming, but Mark, you're sculpting for other producers and stuff as well. Then doing stuff for them. I'm assuming.
Yeah, he's working on something for Troy. He's working on something for Soul. Working on something.
Yes.
Monster Mansion or
Model Mansion.
Model Mansion. Yeah.
What else? But the kit that I'm going to be doing with George Stevenson. It's a variety. Then Paul and I have our own things. And that can change. We could say right now, yeah, we want to have this thing out by April, and then the next thing we decided not to do that. We're doing this instead. I like to keep everything, and it seems Paul does too, a little bit free flowing for us. So I've got an idea for another line that hopefully will happen, but yeah, you never know.
And we own his Frankenstein in the chair, and I can't tell you, people must hate me by now because I'm like, maybe next month. It never happened.
Right over Jeff's right shoulder there.
I know how much work it's going to be. And I'm getting lazy in my old age with this bigger kits. I don't know. I mean, I'll do them.
Mike, what you got Milicent coming, and then what? Can you say?
Well, nothing officially booked, but I've got one or two things that I want Jeff to do.
Okay.
We have talked about them briefly, but I don't like mentioning something unless it's actually booked in. So
gotcha.
And Mike, you were you're gonna open the list here and give the information for the Milicent.
Yeah, I think I forwarded the email address to you. So what I've done, I've actually set up a dedicated email address because I think it's going to be easier to keep track rather than 4 or 5 groups of people saying they want in because people get missed, and then they go, I want it on the list, and that Joe Blogs has his kit, and I want it on the list. Yeah. I'm sorry, dude. So I'm trying to figure out a way to be fair to everyone, something that's going to be simpler for me. So I just thought, you know what, I'll just set up an email address. If you want the kit, just ping me an email saying I'm in. And what I'm going to do after we open the list officially, the first 20 kits, Jeff did a fantastic little company piece for Milicent, the little Gill boy. So the first 20 kits, I'm going to include that for free, but it's going to be available for everyone. So the first 20 are going to get that. So the first 20 names that I see come through on email, they're going to get
Gill boy.
Might as well just say 19 because I'll have access to the email first. And
the remaining 19.
You know what? I won't do that. I won't do that. I won't take it away. But that's awesome.
You've got McCready too.
Yeah, McCready will be coming soon. Yeah, it's going to be a Yagher Army exclusive. It's going to be number 4. So I sent Paul through all the bits and pieces for that. I did some artwork for that. I did Paul showed you the little license for McCready.
Yep. And you sent me pictures. We'll put them up here too.
Yeah, I did a certificate, which is kind of in the style of it's almost like a leaflet for the Outpost 31. It's like
hey, this Yagher autograph is getting less valuable because it's on everything. I mean, I'm just saying. Okay.
Used to be you couldn't get that autograph.
I know, and now it's everywhere. You can't escape.
I said that we've created a Frankenstein monster.
I'll sign you right now. Stick your head forward. Come here. Come here.
Jeff, I give mine.
Hey, I want to revisit one question.
Sure.
If it wouldn't have been The Bride of Dracula, it would have been like half the stuff I'm doing for Paquette right now, which I could not get my hands on. Bill was hard to get in touch with, but now that I'm kind of working with him, I have all those kits. Those were all my grails.
Yeah.
Some of the Paquette stuff.
Yeah, that Tomb of the Blind Dead full figure that he did, I kicked myself for not picking that up a long time ago, and I'm waiting for that to come back. I want that one.
I have a crush on that guy.
Get a man crush.
I do.
That's
okay.
Plague zombie. The plague zombie. That's what I'm thinking of.
There are those that say I have a man crush on Jeff because I have like 80 Yagher kits now, and
I love these guys.
I
personally think it's a sign of intelligence.
Thank you. Jason, I think is up to 4 now.
I have more than 4.
Whatever. So, and Jeff, you have they have the Yagher Army Black Cat companion piece coming.
Yeah, I just finished that. Now I'm doing something for George. I'm doing the next 4 characters in the Star Trek mini busts that I do for him. I think we're up to, 12, 16. I think we're almost up to 20 pieces now.
Wow.
So, so I'm doing Core and that little baby character.
Ron Howard?
Ron Howard's brother.
That's funny.
That is funny.
You're doing a Clint Howard bust? That's awesome.
I am doing a tiny Clint Howard.
What you're talking about.
Yeah. So
we got the Yagher Army Godzilla. We just gotta get.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Done to it. Yep.
Yeah, and then I'm doing a special something for these guys. I'm pointing at Paul and Michael right now.
Okay.
Just a little something especially for you guys that no one else will have.
Awesome.
So I noticed on this little set, Series 1.
Yes,
Can
sir.
we expect a Series 2 next year?
Yeah, you will. I get a lot of requests for it. I'm not really sure which ones I'm going to do yet. So, what are your suggestions there, Scott?
Oh, no. Because then he'll claim it was his idea. Don't do this.
It's so hard to say because there's so many replacement heads out there. So it's. Do you want to do another one that you've already done for someone?
No, I probably won't repeat any of those. But there are lots of them I haven't done. I haven't done the Lugosi Frankenstein. I haven't done the Karloff Mummy. I haven't done a bunch of them. That and I want to do some. I think too that alter that don't necessarily require them to be like you can use the doctor from the Mr. Hyde kit. And put different heads on him depending on you could do the tarantula character, or I could do something that all it would take is a slight alteration of the model kit and to make it something totally different. So I'm thinking about doing that kind of stuff too.
Okay, these were beautiful. These are, these were just beautiful. So.
Good. Well, I look forward to people starting to put those out because it's going to be really fun to see what everybody does with those heads.
Very cool. Scott, any other questions?
Real quick. And I know we touched on this. So Paul's bought a 3D printer. Doesn't have a plan, but he's got a 3D printer.
Zero plan, but a lot of ambition.
Zero plan. So and he's talked to me privately about it. They're gonna get ZBrush for Mark and Jeff. You're looking at digital sculpting as well as a possibility, or
I think it's about time I start to do this. I mean, it's going to make my wife happy because there won't be clay all over our living room, but so she's going to be happy about that. And I just need to get a tutorial. I mean, David Igo's got one, and some other people have some out there, so I'll start to study up on how to do it.
Okay, Mark, you looking forward to it as well?
Yeah. I've always told the story. I was a designer. I did mechanical, basically in the old days when you did it with wax and stuff like that. And then we went digital, like 1990, 1989. And you know what? It wasn't that hard. All that Photoshop and stuff like that. Quark Express was the program. So I figured this should be the same thing. Hopefully. Yeah, I'm trying to stay kind of optimistic about that I should be able to latch right onto it.
We created a room up there that was my wife's creepy doll room. Like she literally would go to flea markets and buy haunted dolls. It's exactly what you're thinking. And we gutted it, and now we got a computer table in there. We got a computer on the way. We got I got a small printer here. I haven't even tried it yet. And then we get the big one. We got spots for that. So yeah, when that happens, I'll take you guys on a virtual tour. But
I want to see the death dolls or the creepy haunted dolls.
Dude, yeah, they got dirt on their face, the whole 9 yards. One of them is holding matches.
Wow.
Well, you know what? We'll do this in the future. We're gonna have everybody back on by themselves. Now we kind of got this under our wings, and then We could do little studio tours and do that. It'd be really cool. Thank you all for coming on. This has been amazing. And it went a lot.
Thanks for staying
away.
awake.
This is great. And yeah, it's what, midnight now? 11 o'clock there?
It's only 10:27.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mike, what's the last model kit you built?
Last one I built?
For yourself.
Play this game now. Okay.
We're going to do that. Yeah. No, we're just asking Mike. We'll just ask Mike.
It's a long time ago.
Well, that's Paul.
I think it was Steve Wang's Guyver.
He said Wang.
Steve's Wang.
Wang.
Paul
Steve
and Mark,
Wang's
what's the
Guyver.
last model kit you built for yourselves?
I got a Bigfoot, which you'll like. The exist Bigfoot that's going to Lauren Coleman's museum. And I'll send you pictures
Cool.
that you can post at the
Yeah, I'll
end.
do it. All right.
I got to send that off to them. Yeah, that was fun.
What was the last thing I did? Did I say, was it something I sent to somebody? Was it
Pennywise?
It might have been a Pennywise.
Okay.
I painted a few of my Pennywises. Yeah, it's very possible. I don't keep track because I don't get a chance to paint that often.
Yeah.
I'm in the
It's
middle
tough.
of a kit that I've been painting for 2 years, 3 years now.
So
Gotta
it's
finish
Scott.
it.
No, he wasn't. If he didn't sculpt, he
Right.
would be.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, Jeff, you don't have time to build or anything, do you, on your own?
I don't paint anything. I mean, I'm looking around here. I guess the last thing I built was the Typhon Studios triple character, like 3/4 bust.
Oh, yeah,
half
there it is.
half
Okay.
bust. Yeah. I think that was the last one that I actually would consider that I built, since it, most of the stuff Paul sends me, I just stick up on the shelf because it's it's ready made. So
I'm trying to focus. I'm not being weird. There we go.
you're freaking me out.
Well, Scott, it's safe to say hasn't built anything.
Well, I sometimes put the 3D printed stuff together and look at it. So
I vaguely remember seeing you paint something at Wonderfest. Like it was about 15 years ago, Scott.
oh yeah.
It's
Maybe.
coming out with some
It's
pretty
been a
good
while.
printed stuff. What's the coolest printed thing that you guys have seen? I guess there's that. I don't know if that Pumpkinhead counts. I mean, I know it was digitally sculpted, but I guess it's not printed out.
I come
It
across
is.
so many cool things that it's like I don't even know where to start. There's so much stuff. That's it. Because I'm more like I like more recent stuff than classic. So when I find, I'm like, oh my gosh. Like the cool thing about 3D sculpting, there's a show on Netflix right now that I absolutely love called Arcane, and it's an animated show, and it's based on the video game League of Legends. And I want everyone to at least watch one episode, because every frame, the way they animated it, looks like a painting, and it's gorgeous. And there's already, I've seen 15 STL sculptures of things from that show alone that I'm like,
Wow.
oh my gosh, there's stuff already for this. Instead of where you have to wait years for someone to say, oh, I'm going to sculpt this and then put it in a kit. And then like, I could go on a site right now and I could buy it today and have it in my house tomorrow. So it's like,
I just done my first NFT. I don't know if I told you guys about this last time.
you know what? I would like you to talk about that, because we're going to have someone else on next month that I think is going to talk about NFTs. And I know Scott has no idea what they are, and I know a very little bit about them. So if you could talk about NFTs, that would be great.
The term NFT stands for non-fungible token, and it is what Bitcoin is to cryptocurrency. NFTs are to crypto art. And so there was a company called Macroverse, and I'm trying to find the picture of it, that hired me to do a character from a comic book that they have on their site that was called Phobos. And it's this sort of Frankenstein-esque creation, but he was created chemically. So instead of having things sewn on him, things grow on him. And I'm trying to find the photo of it here. Give me a second. I sculpted the piece, and we had David Fisher paint it. And then what they do is they digitize it, and they make what are essentially digital baseball cards, if you were, except that you can turn it on a virtual pedestal, and have lighting effects, and it comes with little movies about how I sculpted it and things like that. And so the company is going to drop it shortly after the new year, And these things, some of these things, if they catch on, go for a lot of money. There'll be different levels that you can buy it at. You can buy it at like the $40 level, all the way up to, some of them go for $200,000-$300,000 for that. And then the really highly collectible versions also come with. You also get the hard copy. And this is what the sculpt looks like.
Oh wow!
Awesome.
And the character's name is Benjamin Franklin, and those arms grow on him like hair, and he has to take his one big arm and rip them out, like he has to trim himself. It's a really great character.
So this is I want to get into that. I want to get into that a little bit too. So an NFT, you can't just give it. Keeps track of everyone who owned it, right?
Right.
So you can't just like make copies of it. So it's like owning a piece of art, like a painting in your house, but it's on your computer. So most people are listening to this going, that sounds stupid. But in a way, it's really kind of cool because it keeps track. It keeps people, and this might be the way I think that digital sculptors are going to go. And this, I was having a conversation with this a guy who's going to come on, that this will help keep people from copying and stealing things. That if you allow, like, somehow get those digital files into an NFT format, it'll keep a list of everyone who's purchased that, who has it, where it came from, how much it's worth, that sort of thing. So it's a way to copyright and keep like thieves away from stuff.
It has tracking.
Yeah, nice tracking way to do it.
And they're all encrypted. I mean, you could take a screenshot of something like that, but then you just show an image.
Right.
Where this thing is 3-dimensional. I mean, you can turn it and play with it and do different things with it. And it's like a movable baseball card,
Yeah.
And like you said, you will have, it keeps track of who owns it and who sells it and who transfers it. And the simple ones probably just have the pedestal and the lighting effects. And then there are ones that, the higher you go, the more bits you have per inch, the more features on it, the more movies that come with it, and it's like a whole little package, and you put it on your computer, you can use it, you can have it on a loop like a screensaver.
Yeah, the first time I had heard of him, it was an artist who was making nothing but NFTs as like a illustrator painter guy, and he was the first one to sell one for $1 million or something like that, like crazy amount of money, and that's where I think
like these little cartoon kitties that were going for $1 million.
Yeah. It's all good until China hits us with the EMP attack, and then they're all gone.
Yeah,
but
Well, the thing is, I mean, crypto. Everybody kind of laughed at crypto, and now crypto is. I mean, there are entire countries that operate on nothing but crypto. And with the things that are happening with all the economies, I mean, it's you can ask Mike. He's an expert. There, the digital currency is becoming a thing of the future. It's becoming things that, and there's people who found themselves nouveau riche because they bought Bitcoin, 1,000 Bitcoin at $1 a piece when they announced what $35,000 a piece or something like that. So now people are buying fractions of Bitcoin, and but they have all this money and they don't really know what to do or how to invest it. And so NFTs are a way to put your money places on things that will also grow because they will become more valuable because there's a limited number.
Right.
A huge part of the future of crypto and NFTs. You mentioned games there earlier, Jason. So you've probably heard that Facebook have rebranded to Meta.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a whole segment of the crypto world called the metaverse. And so what you're going to have is say for example, Call of Duty or whatever it might be. It's going to have its own space within the metaverse, and you're going to have all these other game platforms. And so within each game, you're going to have cryptocurrencies that are the in-game token.
Mm-hmm.
And then what you do, as you level up within games, as you normally do, you then own that character as an NFT. And so you can actually sell your avatar as NFT. So this whole thing becomes it's another world within a world. And they've all got, as Jeff was saying, this is all stamped on the blockchain, which is where crypto lives. And so you get what's called a hash. And that's why it can't be copied, it can't be transferred without someone's permission, without the owner's permission. And every time it is,
we're going into a totally different conversation. But remember when like Activision, I played Warhammer online all the time, but people play World of Warcraft, and you level up your character, and people would sell their characters, and that could get you banned. So now Now they found a way to monetize that and do that on their. Okay, I got you. Scott, you loving this conversation? Video games and computers.
You know what? Let's talk about Lord of the Rings, and we can all go to sleep.
All right. All right,
pass.
That's my. I love that part.
I
want to do my impression.
Lord of the Necklaces is coming out. That'll be good.
Hey, it's the 20th anniversary right now of Lord of the Rings coming out. Fellowship of the
and the
Ring.
movie just ended.
Like this past week. Oh, you're an idiot. Okay, we're going to end. Everybody, seriously.
Director's cuts. Harry Potter's at that stage too, isn't it?
Huh?
What, Mark?
Harry Potter's at that stage
yes,
too.
Harry Potter's right there too. Yep.
Wow.
20 years. 20 years. Thank you all for coming on. This has been amazing. And I wish everybody a great holiday, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate, Yule,
Festivus,
all that stuff. But
Kwanzaa.
seriously, this has been great. Thank you all for coming on, Paul, Mark, Mike, and Jeff. This has been just amazing.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Jason. Thanks, Scott. Thanks,
All right.
guys.
And then,
Pleasure, you guys.
we'll get all the plugs up, all
Okay.
the emails and all that stuff, and we'll be there. So everybody hang on. We're going to talk as soon as I press stop. All right, and we're back. Scott, how'd it go?
I thought that went well.
I think so too.
I mean, especially for all the people we had on. I think
Yeah.
it went well. And we kept it.
Technically, we were in Ireland to California. So to have I thought there'd be a lag of some sort, and there wasn't. So how cool is the internet these days? You'd never this would have been an email fight forever back in the day. Or like the old
Say
gremlins
email
in
fight?
the garage. Email
Say
fight.
email fight.
Emails. Speaking of emails, you ready to go to emails and voicemails?
Sure.
All right. If you would like to email the show, modelclubtv@gmail.com. That's how you send us anything you want us to talk about. If you would like to leave a voicemail, here's the phone number, 708-816-4299. Scott, we have 0 voicemails this time. So you know what that
No
means?
one wants to talk to us. No one wants to talk to us.
No one wants to talk to us. And that means I get to mumble through emails.
Oh, joy.
See, that's the problem. People, voicemails, please. Please. All right, here we go. I don't even have my readers and I don't know where they are. So this is going to go extra better. From Phil. He sent in a bunch of Ray Harryhausen buildups too for the gallery. So check those out at the end. First, I want to apologize, Phil Kupka. First, I want to apologize for not sending in my usual email after episode 34. With the Thanksgiving holiday and a commission I'm working on, I just spaced out writing an email. Sorry to make up for lost time, this will be a lengthy email.
Get your popcorn ready.
Phil, I can't read all of this. So I'm going to try and hit the highlights. Jason, you showed us a sneak peek of a kit which will feature your favorite genitalia. So I thought I'd just put a little sneak peek of sorts for a kit that as Saturn Ltd is working up. If you love the Mysterious Island Crab Battle Kit, the buzz is that Joe Simon and yours truly are sculpting another scene from the Harryhausen Mysterious Island film. I'm sure you will agree it will be one honey of a kit to add to your Harryhausen figure kit collection. So I think we kind of know what that is. Before I continue, I'd like to comment on my favorite episodes of Model Club TV. Feature interviews with people that have been involved in the hobby for quite a while. Terry Webb, George Stevenson, etc. Not to say that the younger guys don't add a lot to the hobby, but I really enjoy reminiscing about all the fun we had over the years, the evolution of garage kits, friends we've made, hobby life before the internet, etc. Please keep trying to convince more of the pioneers of the hobby, John Dennett, Danny Sirocco, Tony Hardy, Joe Ladotti, to come on the show. The episodes with these special guests are usually the more lengthy ones, but they are, again, in my opinion, the best episodes. So in a roundabout way, Phil doesn't like listening to just both of us.
Phil loves us.
I don't like
Loves
listening
you.
to me. But...
He doesn't like you.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. I know that for a fact. Another thing I might add is if you make it... What?
He loves you.
I know, I'm just kidding. Another thing I might add is that if you can't make it to Wonderfest or any of the other wonderful model shows, Maybe because of the expense or distance or whatever the case might be, I encourage you to start forming your own local gathering of fellow modeler builders. I know COVID has been a real concern, but when you feel safe again, reach out to the people you know and start small. Back in 2015, I got together with 3 other guys and they started their swamp meet. So yeah, Phil, that's a great idea. I think people should reach out to people in their area and try and do that. We're going to try and do that again when it gets warm around here. But I mean, it's tough. There aren't a lot of us.
There's a lot of us. It's just tough to get everyone on.
Yeah. Like I said, the guest interviews with listening to Terry Webb is always a treat. That guy has been around the hobby for quite a while. That's why he's so knowledgeable and has so many stories to tell. And his episode of Model Club TV proves my point. Social media has changed so many things in our life, some good, some not so good, including our wonderful hobby. We are now down to only one model magazine, AFM, and that was more or less forced to go digital. Kudos to Terry and David for adapting and keeping the ball rolling. A lot was covered during the interview with Terry, and I'll try to comment on what he said. Concerning the quality of paint jobs and various other modelers' praise given or encouraging, as I stated, after all, it is a hobby, and though we sometimes have competitions, we're in the hobby for our enjoyment. So if someone posts a build-up of a kit they've done, that isn't David Fisher caliber, should we tell them, encourage them with great job? Should we critique them, or should we say not say anything? I try to tell myself, if you can't say anything good, don't say anything at all. It's not my motto, or Scott's. I used to build kits for someone who felt it was his modeling skills could never do justice to these expensive garage kits. I firmly believe that the more you do of something, whether it be building, painting figure models, or doing anything, the more you do it, the better you get at it. And Terry's remarks about how we don't hesitate to go up to the counter and complain about food service when anybody does something well, give them a pat on the back. Good job. Selling, sculpting, producing figure kits. I agree with Terry. There are enough Frankenstein monster alien predators. Recently, gears have shifted a little, and we're seeing cartoon characters surface, much to Scotty's delight. And the popularity of 3D printing, we are seeing some really good original sculpts. Rob Madison's Maddie the Mad Modeler. As for pricing of kits, George Stevenson once told me, price them affordable and you'll sell more. Terry talked about the past Wonderfest and how in the early days, so many kits debuted at those shows with flyers on elevator walls telling of the new kits to be previewed in the room. Yes, those were the days. So thank you, Phil. All right. This next email is from Raymond LeGrant, who you'll know this last episode. Raymond, thanks for covering my question in the last episode. Just a quick follow-up. Although the price of a kit is really determined by how much one is willing to pay for it, the question really boiled down to the marketing a kit today. With all the avenues of the internet, 10 years ago, one was really exposed to new resin kits in AFM or select news forums. I know that Jason stated that the market has really shrunk in those 10 years, but I feel better advertising and exposure would sell more kits today. And with inflation, one could charge more. Yeah, I think advertising is a big thing. If you get your stuff into new places, I think that's important. Like showing your buildups on miniature sites or places that normally wouldn't see them on the internet. I'm going to move this one. All right. This is from Kendall Conniff. Hi, guys. I've debated whether to write this because I didn't want to come across as a poor loser. I'd be a rich loser. After rewatching your Wonderfest episode with Terry Webb, where he complained about IPMS snobs, I decided to share my experience. Last month, my local hobby shop, a Hobbytown franchise, held a model contest. Prizes included gift certificates to the shop, so I thought, what the hell, it doesn't cost anything to enter, and maybe I'll win a gift certificate. I hadn't entered a contest since 1994, so I decided to show my Bride of Frankenstein diorama, my Death Dealer castle, and my Land of the Giant snake. All of those builds you showed on your program at one time or another. I chose those builds because they had the most modeling and scratch building done to them, and I was also proud of their paint job. It looked like the contest was run and judged by members of the local IPMS chapter and a local car model club, but it wasn't an official IPMS contest. So I filled out the entry forms and was told to enter in their dioramas, which I did. There are lots of military entries, lots of cars, lots of sci-fi ships. There are even separate freaking Gundam and dinosaur categories. It also seemed like each category had several subcategories. Cars were broken up by scale, as were planes, takes, ships, etc. Unfortunately, figures, horror, sci-fi, and fantasy, and anything else that didn't fit another category all got lumped together. There was no separate diorama category unless it was a military diorama, so mine were included with figures. There were a few anime girl resin kits, a cool Halloween Frankenstein resin kit, and a bunch of painted miniatures. So I'm hanging out with the judges. So I'm hanging out while the judges were making the rounds, and I'm observing their interactions. I watched as they spent 10 minutes going over 4 World War II ships, each no longer than 12 inches long, looking at them from different angles and even shining a flashlight over the surface like they were checking for nits. 2 guys standing near me were also watching the judges. Were undoubtedly going to Two guys standing near me were also watching the judges because it was their ships being judged. One guy was saying how he messed up the sheen of a decal and the judges were undoubtedly going to sink his ship. He ended up winning. When they got to the tables with my entries and the other resin kits, they didn't spend more than a few minutes looking at the entries. I thought for sure I should win something because while the other entries were nicely painted, they were just straight up builds with no customization. When they announced the first, second, and third place winner in my category, they all went to the same guy, a miniature painter. Well, I didn't enter. I didn't enter a model I entered a model contest. Okay, for his first place mini required some assembly, but the others were just painted. The paint jobs were fantastically done and very impressive, so he deserved a prize, but I'm disappointed that minis are allowed in a model contest and chosen for prizes over well-done kits. Every other category's winner displayed high levels of detailing and scratch building, but when they get to horror, sci-fi, fantasy, they pick a paint job? What the fuck? Oh wait, WTF. Then there were lots of trophies. The first place trophies were a generic star swoosh #1 kind of thing that looked like they were leftovers from 93, like what they give the kids at a T-ball, dull, so I'm disappointed. I didn't win a gift certificate, but oh well, it was a fun experience. I doubt I'll ever enter another contest unless it is at a dedicated figure show like Wonderfest. I especially won't ever enter anything the IPMS even remotely involved in. Kendall. So, I had a very similar experience at a hobby town. So I wanted to go over that. So my dad races RC cars. Okay. And he used to do it at the hobby town a lot. And he said, hey, there's a model contest. You should enter. I'm like, no, I don't want to enter. He's like, no, because I guess he goes over and talks me up over there as a painter and as a modeler. And I'm like, okay, fine. And I'm like, I'll go with my dad on a Saturday. He's like, the contest is this Saturday. So I decided to bring my Moonsinger from Mark Newman. And that came in 4 pieces, right? So it's not really a big model. It's mostly paint job. And first of all, I felt bad because when I walked in, I was like, oh, I was the only like monster. There was no other. I think there was one other slightly kind of figure kit thing. And then they said the judging was happening and then the awards were like at 3:00. And I'm like, well, do I have to stay here all day or can I leave and come back? So my dad's like, well, let's just go and come back. So we left, came back 3 hours later. They had already judged everything. Everyone else stayed there. And I ended up winning. This is from 2000. First place miscellaneous and best paintwork for Hobbytown for this contest. And they had no idea, like the guy that my dad knew at the place. And this kind of fits into they didn't even want to give me anything. They were arguing over it because it wasn't a model. And he's like, well, what did he do? He just painted it. So that's why they did this paint award, I guess. But so it gets into a discussion of what's a model. Because some miniatures are like model kits and there's hundreds of parts. Others are a single thing and it's just a paint job. But this even goes to Wonderfest when we talk about it as a judge. When I was there, and when you're there, you see it. What constitutes a model? Is it a painting contest at Wonderfest? Is it a modeling contest? How do you treat these things separately? The ships are in the same content. Like, what, to his point, these guys just did paint jobs and he didn't win anything. And he created these giant dioramas and gets nothing. Like, how does this break down? What's your opinion on this, Scott? And this is kind of why we did our contest, to try and bring modeling back and kind of walk it back from just being a painting show, because a lot of guys just paint straight out of the box. And especially you'll see lots of busts entered at Wonderfest, and it's just a paint thing. So what's your opinion here? I think this almost to me is a whole show, and I'd love to have some people on to do that show, but thoughts?
Well, first of all, I don't think the people that are running these contests have any concept of the garage kit hobby or what goes into it.
Exactly. I think I think that's what Kendall, number one, you need to realize those guys have no idea what you're doing. No.
So even if you do just a bust, 9 times out of 10, you're still doing some seam work on it, maybe a little putty work here and there, filling an air hole, whatever. Okay. So what constitutes a model?
Right.
That's a good question. What's more important, the building of the model or the painting of the model? And that's really, it is 2 different things. That being said, the fact that Land of the Giant Snake didn't win anything,
right?
That thing was just phenomenal. Okay, so I don't get that at all. And I think it goes to what people don't know, they stay away from. And this is one of the big problems why our hobby, I think, isn't growing, is we're not reaching out to the miniature people. So the miniature people aren't seeing what we're doing. Okay. It's also specialized. Military, Gundam, hardware.
And at Hobbytown, it is packed of Gundam. And there's also a ton of new anime model kits there too. So they're pushing, I know Hobbytown, they want to push what they're selling, number one.
Sure.
And number two, that's what a lot of people are into these days. The Aurora guys, the Land of the Giants, people that would build that snake kit, there aren't many of those people. But Gundam's
I wonder
huge.
how many people that judged his kit ever saw either Bride of Frankenstein or
right
Land of the Giants. So unfortunately, you run into that as well. It's so hard. And like you say, even Wonderfest, okay, is it a model contest or a painting contest? And I guess if I had to pick one, I would say it's probably more of a painting contest, but you better know how to model.
Yeah.
Because in order to get a good paint job, you have to get rid of seams. You have to, and sometimes, some cases, you customize or you do whatever you do. So you're right. We could do a show about it. Be interesting to see the comments. If it's more than
comment
2
below.
pieces,
I'd
is
love
it
to
a
hear
model?
people's thoughts.
If it's just one piece, is it still a model? To me it is, but by definition, is it?
Yes. I don't think you need a model. Yeah. It's a scale representation of something else, which makes it a model, I guess.
It's a good point.
But you don't see, just think Wonderfest. You used to see like crazy things that people scratch build, and now it's mostly out of the box kind of stuff.
And I don't have a problem with out of the box
either. But no.
Okay.
No.
I recently talked to someone that's building the Atlantis, the Godzilla reissue from Aurora. And he's just bitching about the seams on that thing, what a horrible kit it is. And it really is. I mean, you really have to alter the look of it to get rid of all the seams in that kit.
What saved me on plastic models is Plastic Welder. Is that Plastrux bottle with the little brush if I would have known about that, I would have been doing plastic models forever, because before you're just using the tester's glue. That's what always ruined me on. I'm like, this looks terrible. But that stuff hides the seams so well, and you just do a little bit of sanding and it disappears. I love that stuff. And it works so well, rather than just your typical tube of test.
Put a photo of it up here.
Yeah, I will put it up. But it's great stuff. So yeah, I think this. We'll have to think this through. I think that's a great episode by itself.
And I know we had a watcher subscriber that was local. That was going to Orland Park Hobby Town and invited us to come. If I remember right.
That's where I got mine. That's where, dude, I felt so bad that day.
And if he's still out there, give us that information. Maybe we'll pop in and check it out.
Mm-hmm. I think it might be Greg. Is it Greg? I don't
know if it's Greg. Greg's farther north, I think.
Okay. Which brings me to Greg Damian sent us 2 emails. He sent us a ton of pictures. He goes, I'm attaching images you can show if you want of an old 1998-99 Garage Kit catalog from Village Comics in New York. Interesting to see so many different kit producers in this catalog with tons of kits that are no longer in business. What I find interesting is that the prices for kits and bust pretty much are what they are today. There is even an ad for... I'll leave that out. Of all the kits in the catalog...
The kit that was mentioned last episode.
Yeah, Terry got... There was some controversy. And we'd love to have anyone on to rebut a Terry story. If you'd like to do that. That invitation is out. Of all the kits in the catalog, there's maybe 2 or 3 I would find interesting. All others are meh. I think you guys having a table at next Wonderfest will be pretty cool. Maybe a live show over the weekend. Looking forward to the next show. Yes. So we're working on that. And as far as a live show goes, that depends on the quality of the internet connection we have. We'll see how, I don't know. We're gonna have to work that out. But Scott, you want to comment on any of the prices?
I can't really see the price. Well, I can and I can't. So, okay. But right away on that first page, that Thanos bust in the upper left-hand corner, I had that at one point. And it was okay. The casting was a little rough. But I remember, again, as things progress, you sell things. And, there's the Reservoir Dogs kit there. And I remember there's still people out there looking for that.
Yeah.
And then you go into the next page, and I'm not doing this in any specific order or for any specific reason, but there's John Tucky's Agent X and a couple Coop kits, and I'm sure were Barsums at the time. Juniper kits. I was just having a talk with Rick Evans about those the other day. And so I remember those. The Spectral Motion kits, those were big. The Grazon, there were things there in the Grazon.
I have that gremlin skull upstairs. Sitting on my Scotch. It's in my Scotch cabinet.
Artomic, Thomas Kuntz, and that stuff's there.
That's a great little blast from the past.
Some Cellar Cast stuff, Monsters of Motion, Geometric,
there's
Nagel.
That Mick Jagger kit, and
yep, there's some posthumous rock and roll kits that Terry mentioned last episode.
And Future, there's some Future stuff in there, which just
Netherworld, Future. So there's some good stuff here for sure. I probably had this catalog at one point.
Yeah. So that slideshow was up and cool stuff. He also sent us one more email. Hey, you guys. I thought I'd drop you another line and again reiterate how much I really enjoy what you're doing. I do think it does add a lot to the collecting hobby in a more personal form, other than what Facebook has to offer amongst other venues. As for length, I have no issue with long episodes as long as it's entertaining and informative, which for the most part it has been. For the most part. Even though I am not into 3D printing, I find the process and ability to create your own kits at home quite interesting. I, for one, will not delve into it because I know I would get so bogged down in the process and ability to create on the fly, I would never get anything built or painted. That's kind of my problem right now, is I'm loving printing and the process that yes. Love the interview with Terry. I could listen to his stories ad infinitum. I think all you need to do is give him a topic and just sit back for several hours and let him go. I think you need to have him on every 3 shows. So I emailed him back after this and said, no one else gets to deal with. He's great on the show, but then you have a 3-hour phone call before, after, the week before, talking about what you want to talk, what's going on, how's this, how'd it go?
You do.
And then I get that phone call, you get that phone call, and if we did it every other 3, my life would be over. So,
but I love talking to Terry.
I love Terry, but trying to get off the phone with Terry is even
impossible. Though he called us idiot asshole friends. I still have that written down here in my
the book of grudges.
Yeah,
Terry is on page 1.
Yeah, right after you calling me co-host dickhole earlier today too. But
no, I would be behind that. I would go to shows and totally enjoy talking and being in the hobby, buying kits and just talking to others, but never building or painting anything. I did have a plan that was to wait until retirement to build and paint, which I am doing now. That only lasted until the mid-90s when my interest waned, and I think it was for me the lack of interesting kits or badly sculpted kits. I could not see spending money on garbage. I think it was time where everyone thought they could sculpt and produce kits that would sell. Unfortunately, someone forgot to tell these people that they had no talent. Wow, ouch. Luckily, we still have Jeff Yagher, Jesse Garcia, Mark Van Tine, and others who are wonderful artists. And now with 3D printing and digital sculpting, there are more artists creating quality work I have no issue throwing money at all. And I wanted to read that because I agree. I think the quality of kit has improved so much in the last few years that the lack of kits is made up by the quality of what is out there. And I think the people we had on today prove that. And it's as down as I am on the hobby sometimes, there are huge shining bright spots, and I really think like they need to be
understand about. Back then that's all you had sometimes. So sometimes you had a Frankenstein kit that was cool. It was a cool concept maybe, but it wasn't executed the best.
And part of that, cool. The execution was you were limited by the materials you had too.
Yeah.
Like monster clay didn't exist 15 years ago. Like that stuff that people have now. People were just learning how to use wax in the hobby. Most people were sculpting with that horrible Sculpey. And it's like, things are just...
I think some people still sculpt with that horrible Sculpey.
Yeah, no, I'm talking the pink horrible stuff. Is that what Jeff uses? Pink. Or does he use the gray stuff?
No, we should have asked.
Yeah, we should have. Next time. But that's it, Scott. That's all the emails I got.
Nothing from our friend Mr. Clark.
Nothing from Clark. I think you finished him. I think you got him.
No,
that's not true.
He messaged me.
I got a message from him. Let me read the message.
Okay.
So Mr. Clark sent me a text message while I was at work because he's also a teacher. Brother, I was watching the new episode on my smartboard during lunch break. The bell rung as Huge Head held up the sign. Kids came flying in. I moved like a panther. Too funny. You guys crack me up. So his students were going to see that.
That's what he gets. That's what he gets.
I love
you
Huge
get in the ring with a professional, you're going to get hit hard. Okay? That's all I'm going to say.
So we'll sign off with this. Everybody have a great holiday. Be nice to each other. Hopefully everyone gets something cool. And we'll see you right before New Year's.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Should we get drunk on air? No, you don't drink. Maybe I will.
We should do Festivus because I have a lot of grievances to air with you.
Oh, the airing of grievances. That's a great idea.
What a great idea for an episode. Yeah.
Can we do
that last week.
Oh, man. Can we do feats of strength too?
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time, right before New Year's Eve. Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. Yule, which is me. My fire's coming up. I got it. Anyway. See you later, everybody.